Okay. Welcome, everybody, and thanks for joining me and Rabsif Bikram here for our weekly hangout for the Dalten Collective. Just have a short presentation I want to go over today. And then if we've got enough time, probably just stop the recording and then we'll watch the SpaceX Crew Dragon launch, which is pretty awesome. Okay, so let me go ahead and share my screen somewhere. Present now. There it is. Share button in. Anyway. Okay, so the Dalten Collective. What's the idea here? The idea is that, through fellowship, we can do something interesting on the internet. And what fellowship means is essentially coming together as a group of people and supporting each other. But we do that in a couple different ways. We do that financially, and we do that sort of just generally socially. And those two things together, where the fellowship part comes before the money part, and it's on the internet, gives us something additional, this sort of idea of sovereignty where we're in control of our own destiny. And doing that as a group is a lot easier than doing that as an individual. However, we want to make sure that each and every individual is well taken care of, is mentored properly, all of these things. So that's why we need the group. And we can attract people from all over the world because we're on the internet. And because we use tools and platforms that allow us to stay in control. This is why we've chosen to launch on Urbit. So that's what the Dalten Collective is generally about. And I just wanted to share some things that I've been seeing out in the wild recently. This is called the Yak Collective. This is put out by a guy. His Twitter handle is @VGR. Some of you might know who he is. He's been kind of a freelance consultant for the last 10 years or so. Now he's put together a bunch of other people, sort of like him, who are coming together to do real work and get paid for it. And they've got a pretty dynamic system, and they had a pretty large group to begin with. So it's an interesting experiment, similar to what the Dalten Collective is doing. They're probably less on the social part, meaning they're not necessarily as concerned about if you're part of the group or not part of the group, as long as you participate and as long as you add value. I saw this on Twitter yesterday. So Justin Murphy, a prominent Twitter figure, was chatting with somebody, and wouldn't it be cool if you could sort of collectively do something all together and make money doing it? Yes, of course it would be cool. So this idea is starting to filter out through the rest of the world, and it's something that's engaging for people. But it comes with something of a dark side too, or a cautionary tale. So this is Aragon, and Aragon has been on Ethereum for a long time. It's sort of this DAO platform that offers a bunch of tools. I kind of think of it as a sort of like the WordPress for DAOs. They have a bunch of different things that you can use to run a DAO. And they had a disagreement with one of their sort of satellite groups, and they couldn't resolve it, even though they put a lot of time and effort into a sort of resolution process. They call it the Aragon Court, which they don't think is a place to resolve this particular issue, which is a shame. So they're actually going to go through just legal routes. So this is a cautionary tale that once you add money into the equation, things can get complicated and complicated quickly. So what I do want to talk about is membership. We formed a small group to define what membership is to the Dalten Collective. And we even have a due date, which would be June 17th, 2020. We will present a document that will sort of spell out what membership is, and hopefully be a living document and sort of move on into our history and define clearly who is a member and who is not a member of the Dalten Collective. So just have a couple things that I wanted to put out there ahead of that. Some of my own thoughts, which will get worked over by the group as well. The membership should be first and foremost free. Shouldn't cost anything to become a member, at least not right now. This is not a revenue stream for us. This is an idea that you bring value here, and then value flows your direction. So in that sense, membership is earned. You don't buy it, you work your way in. So if you come into the Dalten Collective with a lot of effort and time, that gets you membership. These things are not transferable. They are unique to you. So something also like a reputation, hopefully. And so I'm hoping that this would be a means by which we can kind of offer a basic reputation system for the Dalten Collective. Hey, Christian. Just sorry, I think my presentation went off. No, it didn't. Okay, keep going. All right. The last thing is permanent, and that's with an asterisk. I say permanent because there will be processes by which people leave the Dalten Collective or renounce their membership, or their membership is revoked. But I think those should be few and far between. So in the sense of once you become a member of the collective, that is a permanent designation. It's for life. So those are some of the basic ideas of membership that I've been thinking about, and this group is going to put together some more thoughts on that, and then actually have a document that we can reference and kind of move forward with. So that's all I had today. Like I said, short presentation. There we go. Just turn it over to you guys and see if you had any thoughts, specifically either on membership or the idea, or have you guys seen some of this idea of a kind of a for-profit group based on the internet in the rest of the, like, have you seen other evidence of that's sort of becoming a thing?
Well, Sarpin, you're kind of in something like that, aren't you? I mean,
yeah. I mean, I haven't really had too much active engagement right now because I've just been doing a bunch of Urbit stuff because it's more interesting. But they're very interested in Urbit. Like, I think a lot of people are starting to do this, and like it's like people are sort of like wanting to like sort of come together and sort of be able to like organize like together and kind of like, you know, like have like be able to like make projects and, you know, just be able to like, you know, take resources and like make money and like do things like together. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I mean, I think that's like definitely like an overarching theme of like where sort of things and sort of, I don't know, like our sort of weird niche, like decentralized sort of like spaces, economies, like that sort of thing. Yeah, I mean, I think I'm like pretty confident like that, like it's definitely a thing. Like we are, like, I mean, it's not simply like a matter of like it remains to be a hypothesis to be tested, but like I think it's like demonstrated itself in actuality. Yeah, like membership is like another question, but like that's my sort of 2 cents on that point.
So I have some thoughts on membership. Like, I've been thinking about it a little bit. I do think that there is a feedback loop here. In order to encourage membership, there needs to be some monetary output from the group, and we need to start producing, or at least some evidence towards that direction. And in order to prune the right sort of people who would be willing to participate in the efforts that are required to make money, I think there need to be nominal dues. And, you know, I was thinking about, I spend like $10 to $15 a month on like esoterica podcasts, and I probably have enough money to drop $2 or $3 a month to be part of Dalten, you know? So I think that, and then also I was talking to you, I think I'm going to have a star coming to me soon, and I'd like to donate it to the group and use it purely for profits and see if we can sell it through Urbit Live, like the individual planets off of it, or the whole thing. I don't really care. But I think it would be good to get some investment, like passive income established for the group. So that even if we're making $10 a month, that's something that the group is slowly building up over time. So my point is, just that I think membership should come with some dues, whether it's annually, and really these are nominal dues until we have some sort of return, right? But something to show that one is not just we're putting our money where our mouth is, as it were. And then also I think it's important that we sooner rather than later get to production of income to encourage the right type of people to join to feed into that loop.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if that makes sense.
It does, and I think it can be. It doesn't have to be all or nothing, right? Meaning, membership can be free, and there can be dues, right? This is like last week we talked about successful organizations that fundraise sort of in this way, which is that the dues are optional. You make the dues optional, and the people who can afford it and want to, because I have the same feeling too, right? I'm in a position now where I could volunteer $15 or $20 a month to help pay for things, which, like server costs, whatever. And I would be happy to do that as just as a volunteer sort of a thing. And maybe you even have that as if there are different types of membership. When we talk about members who are further along in life, who have more experience, life experience, and more assets, their contribution comes in the form of mentorship and maybe something like fiscal sponsorship or something else like that. The point is, and I think I maybe should say the spirit of it is, I think people should be able to join with sweat equity, basically.
That's a really good point. I like that too. And I think that, yeah, I like the idea of having the optional dues. I want to make sure that there's momentum. There's something like momentum that you establish by starting putting effort and money in, because I think we're standing around the periphery of our core goal and kind of talking about what it might look like at some point, but an inroad is always an inroad. The sooner we take it, the faster we get to the place that we want to be, even if that place shifts over time.
I agree. And then holding assets, managing money, and distributing those things would be some of the first things that we would do. Other than, or I should say, we could do those things and we can self-define as we go as well. Because I think it is important to be thinking about conflict. As easy as it seems now, and it is easy. There just kind of has to be. If this is something that's important, there should be conflict eventually.
Do you guys not just hold all your feelings inside like I do? Like that, let's find that's an easier way to handle conflict resolution. But
it's just to never
just
say
me.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, but I think I think that's cool. And of course, a lot of these we'll talk more about in sort of our weekly. We'll probably I'm targeting Friday as our first membership sort of spitball meeting.
This Friday, coming Friday. Okay.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm pretty open. Like I've got the entire day kind of blocked off, so I want to be productive.
Cool.
I think I should be able to make that. I'm traveling, but I should hopefully be able to make that.
Excellent. Okay, well that's great. Anything else you guys wanted to chat about?
Not like immediately. I don't know. Like,
okay. You're gonna do a video of your hackathon project for Rob. Did you see that email? Did he get you on that email?
He didn't get me on that email, I don't think.
Yeah.
They were asking for YouTube videos of the functionality as like a demonstration of what the hackathon project can do. I guess probably not for their use so much as to promote the effort more globally to people who can't read the code directly, but
yeah,
that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Because Jose put out an awesome video, and now it's like, oh, can we get everybody to do that?
Yeah. Jose's was great. Yeah, I really like it. I'll get a video. Like Rob, gave me a really extended deadline, which I'm about to turn it in today.
Okay. Good.
It's it definitely needs a lot of cleaning up, but it's actually working. I was spent the past few days on pending transactions, which is kind of weird and complicated. Yes.
Cool. All right. Well, how about this? I'm gonna stop the recording, and then we'll just kind of hang out a little bit, and then we can hopefully watch the liftoff together. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm down.